Yes, good morning all. Am I audible to all of you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So in the last text, I think we discussed the pipeline processing and we discussed this example. So this was there, the pipelining. So we divide the entire task into a number of subtasks. So quickly we can recap what we did and then we extend our lecture. So the point that we are having. So we discussed this task of giving a pipeline configuration for this question AI star V of I plus C of I. So we have to divide into a pipeline configuration. As you can see, here we can have this pipeline having three different segments: segment one, segment two, and segment three. In segment one, we multiply the value of A and B, input the value of A and B. Segment two, we multiply, input the value of C, and finally we add the value. So you'll see in three segments we solved, and this was the expression, and the value of I was from 1 to 7. So we discussed this one in the class, how to have a segment, and we did one question for this also. Okay. So this is a pipeline configuration, and then we talk about this is the content in different segments. Content in different registers of the segment. This is R1, R2, R3, R4, and R5. And at the occurrence of every clock pulse, you will see data will come in segment 1 or in segment 2 or in segment 3. And finally, after this much of clock pulse, the entire data was executed. You will see this is the final result we got it. A7 star B7 plus C7. So you end up over here as a part of a segment 3. Okay. Then we saw the space-time diagram. The same thing can be written in terms of space-time diagram that shows how much time we require, how much clock cycles we require to complete a task. So here you will see it consists of two axes, and vertically we put a segment, and horizontally we put the number of clock cycles that we are having. Okay, segment 1, 2, 3, and 4. And the task T1, T2, T3, T4, T5, T6. So we are showing in this segmentation, the task T1 comes in segment 1 and then it moves to segment 2 in that fashion, segment 2, segment 3, and segment 4. So after 4 clock pulses, the pipeline is filled, and at the subsequent clock pulse, we get the output. One thing should be clear. As I told you earlier in the class, जितने segment होंगे pipeline में, उतना clock pulse लगेगा pipeline को fill होने के लिए. इसमें 4 segment है, तो 4 clock pulse लगेंगे pipeline को fill होने के लिए. You will see the first output we are getting. The task T1 will get as output at the occurrence of 4th clock pulse, and after every clock pulse we get the next output. T2 will get in the next clock pulse, T3 we get in the next clock pulse, T4 we get in the next clock pulse, and so on. T4, T5, and T6. Okay, so you'll see that is what the space-time diagram. Now, I think till this point we end up. So, any point of clarification till this point? Now we have to extend our lecture with this speed-up ratio. Now just see how to calculate the time. Now time here, the speed up ratio means what? The speed up ratio between a non-pipeline system. We are comparing a non-pipeline system as compared to the pipeline system. So we have to calculate the time for the non-pipeline system, and then we have to calculate the time for non-pipeline system and the time for the pipeline system. So what we are having, how we can do the calculation? First of all, we talk about a pipeline system. Pipeline system having the K segments. So K segment pipeline with a clock cycle of time TP is used to execute n tasks. Now, as I've told you in the previous slide, the first task T1 requires time. Time लग रहा है K star TP, where K is the number of segment and TP is the clock cycle time. First task, मैंने क्या बोला कि एक टास्क को कंप्लीट जितना सेगमेंट्स होंगे उतना क्लॉक साइकिल लगेगा पाइपलाइन को फिल होने के लिए, और पहला टास्क आउट होगा. It means the first task will be out. It will be given as K star TP, where K is the number of segment and TP is the clock cycle
Sir?
time. एक क्लॉक. Yes.
सर आपके सर स्पीड सर बहुत ज्यादा है सर.
Okay. So I can just repeat again. So here we talk about a speed up ratio that we have to compare a non-pipeline system with a pipeline system. Okay. Now here what formula can be taken? जैसे मैंने last इसमें बताया, see this slide. इस formula को समझने के लिए हमें इसको देखना पड़ेगा. So here if हमारे पास 4 segment है, we are having 4 segment in a pipeline. And the first task जो भी हमारे पास है, मैंने 2 बात कही थी कि पाइपलाइन कब फुल होगा, जितने सेगमेंट होंगे उतने क्लॉक साइकिल लगेंगे पाइपलाइन को फिल होने के लिए. इन दिस केस विल सी 4 सेगमेंट का पाइपलाइन है. तो हियर यू विल सी आफ्टर 4th क्लॉक पल्स एंटायर पाइपलाइन इज फिल्ड. ठीक है, एक बात. दूसरी होने का मतलब क्या है, पहला टास्क है देखिए, तो T1 देखिए 4th सेगमेंट पे कब आया, 4 क्लॉक साइकिल के बाद. कहने का मतलब क्या है, जितने सेगमेंट की पाइपलाइन होगी उतने क्लॉक पल्स में pipeline fill होगा and we get the first outcome. So here you will see the first T1 will get as outcome. Just a minute. After 4 is the segment. And next one you will see after every clock pulse we get the next outcome. T1 देखिए 4 clock pulse के बाद आया, T2 at the very next clock pulse, T3 at the very next clock pulse, T4 at the very next clock pulse, and so उसके बाद जो रिजल्ट है, जो आउटपुट है, वो एक साथ आ रहा है, हर एक क्लॉक पल्स पे आ रहा है. अब इसके अगर फॉर्मूला दिखाना है पाइपलाइन के, तो क्या करेंगे, एक दो चीज डिवाइड करेंगे. पहला आउटकम कब आ रहा है, यानी T1 आउटकम कब आ रहा है, वो एक फॉर्मूला हो जाएगा, और बाकी हर एक क्लॉक पल्स पे T2, T3, T4, T5, T6 आ रहा है. The same thing can be used to devise a formula. Case you will see. So the first task T1 requires time K star TP, where K is the number of segments, TP is the clock cycle time which is required by every clock cycle. Now the remaining n-1 task, अब हर एक n-1 task मतलब जो पहले task के अलावा बाकी जो task होंगे n-1 कहलाएंगे, वो कब आएंगे, it will come up with the every next clock pulse. The remaining n-1 task emerge from the pipeline at the rate of 1 task per clock cycle. So it will be taken as n-1 star TP. यानी कि जो n-1 टास्क है, हर एक जो टास्क है रिमेनिंग, यानी ये फॉर्मूला अगर मैं समझाने के लिए लिखूं, ये फॉर्मूला हमारे लिए हो गया T1 के लिए, ठीक है, और ये जो फॉर्मूला होगा सभी के लिए, बाकी बचा जो भी है टास्क T2, T3, T4 एंड सो ऑन. सो T1 के लिए क्या होगा, K स्टार TP, यानी K सेगमेंट हो गया, इतना टाइम लगेगा पाइपलाइन को फिल करने के लिए, और बाकी n-1 star TP. So here, so we can, the combined formula we can have it, that is K plus n-1 into TP. That is, we are adding K plus n-1 clock cycle. So a pipeline system will have a time like this, K plus n-1 clock cycle, or clock cycle is means TP. ये टाइम होगा, और हमें टाइम कैलकुलेट करना है पाइपलाइन सिस्टम के लिए, तो ये हम यूज करेंगे. आगे नॉन पाइपलाइन सिस्टम का मतलब क्या है, व्हेन द टास्क T1 विल कम इन, तो जब तक T1 एग्जीक्यूशन कंप्लीट नहीं होगा हम T2 पे मूव नहीं करेंगे, और जब तक T2 मूव कंप्लीट नहीं होगा हम T3 पे मूव नहीं करेंगे. नाउ नॉन पाइपलाइन पहले T1 होगा, T1 कंप्लीट होगा तब T2 पे, तब T3 पे. नाउ द टाइम रिक्वायर्ड टू कंप्लीट ईच टास्क, दैट इज T of n, टाइम वी हैव टेकन, T of n टाइम चाहिए. And if n is the number of tasks, then we total time required is n star T of n. Time required to complete the n tasks, that is n star T of n. The speed up ratio can be given as n star T of n upon K plus n-1 TP. N star T of n upon k plus n minus 1 upon tp, where n is the number of tasks, Tn is the time required to complete task in non-pipeline system, k number of segment, and again number of tasks, and Tp is the clock cycle time. Now we just see two examples. Two examples we did it. So for this one, draw a pipeline configuration for AI star into CI star plus. I think it is plus C D of I. पहला था, दूसरा था draw is. तो पहला you can see the answer for this one. So AI star plus, इसको हमने क्लास में सॉल्व कर लिया था. तो ए और बी इनपुट किया तो 3 सेगमेंट पाइपलाइन के हो जाएंगे. पहला सेगमेंट ये, दिस इज सेगमेंट 1. सेकंड सेगमेंट ये है, दिस इज सेगमेंट 2, एंड फाइनली दिस इज सेगमेंट 3. पहले चारों वैल्यूज को इनपुट कर लिया, ए, बी, सी एंड डी. फिर दोनों को ऐड किया हमने, R5 में आ गया, ऐड किया हमने R6 में आ गया, फाइनली मल्टीप्लाई करके R7 में आ गया. So in this case we are going to have 3 different segments, 1, 2 and 3. Now second was draw a space-time diagram for a 6-segment showing the time to process 8 tasks. दो डेटा है, 8 टास्क है, यानी T1 to T8 and 6 segment. So what we can do is space-time diagram. So it's a 6 segment, segment 1, segment 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 8 tasks, T1. Then in the next clock pulse, T2 will come, T3, T4, T5, T6, T7 and you will see it process. In the second, T1 comes over here in the second clock pulse, and T2 aa gaya. Third clock pulse, you will see T1 comes to the third segment, T2, T3 and so on. It will proceed. क्या बोला आपको, जितने सेगमेंट होंगे उतने क्लॉक पल्स के बाद पहला आउटपुट मिलेगा. कितने सेगमेंट है यहाँ पर? 6 सेगमेंट है. You will see at the 6th clock pulse we got the first outcome. T1 out हो गया और हर एक clock pulse पे T2, फिर T3, फिर T4, T4, T5 and so on. You will see T5, T6 and कर लेते हैं T7 and T8. ठीक है? You will see अब टोटल टाइम कितना लगा? 13 क्लॉक पल्स पे पूरा होगा. फॉर्मूला कर सकते हैं k प्लस n माइनस 1 इंटू टीपी. के की वैल्यू क्या है? सेगमेंट क्या है? 6 प्लस टास्क हमारे पास क्या है? 8 माइनस 1 इंटू टीपी. तो 8 and plus 16, 14 minus 1, that is 13. So 13 clock cycles are required, and we'll see it is calculated. So with this formula, we can calculate the time required in a pipeline system. We should know the segment and we should know the number of tasks. Now, let's move to this question. See this question. Now, we have to do this question number 3. A non-pipeline system takes 50 ns to process. हमारे पास एक टास्क को प्रोसेस करने के लिए नॉन पाइपलाइन सिस्टम में, तो वी कैन से T of n is become 50. Same task can be processed in a 6-segment pipeline. Number of segments कितने हो गए यहाँ पर? 6 हो गए, यानी कि हमारे पास k है. Just wait. So what I can do, number of segment को काट कर दे रहा हूँ. k number of segment किसने पाइपलाइन में? 6 हो गए. With a clock cycle of 10 ns यानी TP clock cycle pipeline system में, तो TP कितना हो गया? 10 हो गया. Determine the speed up ratio of the pipeline for 100 tasks. So value of n will be 100. N will be 100. Tn 50. So in this case, we identify Tn will be 50, N will be 100, TP will be 10, and K will be 6. Let's see how we have to do the calculation for this. Just see. So Tn will be 50, non-pipeline system total time 50 ns. Segment 6, K will be 6, TP will be 10, and total task will be 100. The formula is NTN upon K plus N minus 1 into TP. So here it will be plus. So NTN, N is 100 tasks, time in non-time system 50, K is a number of segment 6, N is what? You'll see N minus 1, that is 100 minus 1, that is 99 multiplied with 10. So it will ultimately become, we can say this is 100 cross 50 upon 105 cross 10. And if you solve this one, so I think this is 5, 100 upon 105 into 5, and it will be somehow, this comes out to be 4.76. And next is the S max, another formula, S max, speed of maximum. So what we can, how we can calculate? So for this calculation, we say for NTN, from this we can derive the formula NTN upon K plus N minus 1 into TP. So we'll say when the value of, for S max, when the value of N is very, very large, S max, when the value of N is very large, so this K and N1 will be small. Say N is 1 lakh. So segment can be 6, 7, 10. And so in that case, the value of Kn1 will be small. So this formula can be written as, equivalence formula can be written as NTN upon NTP, where the value of N is very large and N will be cancelled out. So we can write this thing as Tn upon TP. Tn upon TP. And this will be the formula for S max. So Tn is what? We know from the equation, when the quotient is 50, and TP is what? 10. So the result will be 5. So here in this case, the value of S speed up will be 4.76, and the S max will be 5. Okay. Any point of clarification with this for this question? Let me know through chat message. Okay, now we can just, so with this point, we complete this concept of pipelining, and here, so here we talk about this one. So I think in 3 questions we have to focus. We have to focus on, from the examination point of view, focus on this one. First of all, pipeline configuration, question number 1, space-time diagram, question number 2, and there's a speed up ratio or maximum speed up in question number 3. So you can just do questions like this for preparing yourself for the examination. Okay. Now with this, we complete this part. We move to the next part, that is computer instruction. Now computer instruction means what? Now we move to the next part, and here we will see certain thing that we are having as a part of the instruction. Now we discussed, while discussing the addressing mode, we discussed the computer instruction, which is having different parts. So here you will see, we will discuss slightly what is a computer instruction and how it executes. That is the objective. And this is a basis for the next topic that we'll study. Now, what is a computer instruction? You will see. So here we'll discuss a CPU, which is having a 16-bit of instruction. And this 16-bit instruction is having 3 different parts. You will see 3 different parts. 12-bit is for the address. You will see 0 to 11. 12-bit is for the address. 3-bit is for the opcode, and 1 bit for the I bit. So this is a specific instruction, a specific CPU having a 16-bit of instruction, 12-bit for the address, 3-bit for the opcode, and 1 bit for the I bit. And this in this design, we are having 3 different kind of computer instructions. First is written as memory reference, register reference, or the input-output reference. Now, depending upon the opcode meaning, the different instructions can be created. Now, we'll see what's happening. When the value of opcode is from 000 to 110, it is termed as memory reference. When the value of opcode is 111, you will see 111, 111. So it can be either a register reference or input-output reference. How to differentiate these two? Opcode 111 with the I value of 0, it is going to be the register reference. Opcode 111 with the value of I as 1, it is termed as an input-output reference. So for a particular CPU, the instructions have been defined. This is a 16-bit instruction, 3 different fields, address, opcode, and I. And depending upon the opcode, we can have 3 different types of instruction: memory reference, register reference, and input-output reference instruction. Now, why we are discussing? Because we should know when we discuss the addressing mode, we talk about a computer instruction, and there we discussed a 16-bit computer instruction. This is what a computer instruction is, having a size of 16-bit, and this will done the task. Internally, computer does the execution of the instruction to complete the task. This is example of different kind of instruction. One set, another set, and third set. First is this is memory reference instruction example, a register reference, and this is what the input output. How we are coming to this one? So to understand, this is the previous slide. Now, when the value of I is from 000 to 000 to 110, it is memory reference. ठीक है. अब देखिए ये 16 बिट का इंस्ट्रक्शन है, तो दिस एंटायर 16 बिट, अगर हमारे पास 16 बिट का डेटा है तो उसको हम मान लीजिए ऑल जीरोस 0 0 0 from this point. So we can convert it to the 4 hex code. We can convert it to the 4 hex code. Now you will see the last के जो 4 bit है from here to here, it gives a 1 hex code. 1 hex code. Similarly, इसके लास्ट के जो 4 bit है, इससे 1 hex code मिलेगा. And similarly, 1 hex code we get from this. Now, what next slide says, with this concept, what are the different kind of instruction? So here you will see hex code हम डिजाइन करेंगे. अब देखिए यहाँ पर अगर रजिस्टर रेफरेंस है तो इसकी लास्ट 4 बिट की वैल्यू क्या है? 0111, यानी इसका हेक्स कोड क्या बनेगा? 7. यानी जो भी रजिस्टर रेफरेंस इंस्ट्रक्शन है, इट विल स्टार्ट विद 7 होगा और बाकी जो भी सिस्टम उसे डिफाइन करेगा. सिमिलरली आईओ रेफरेंस को देखिए, लास्ट के 4 बिट क्या है? ऑल वंस, यानी कि इसको हम बोलेंगे इंटीजर में 15, एंड विच इन हेक्स रिटन एज f, यानी कि जो भी आईओ इंस्ट्रक्शन है इट विल स्टार्ट विद f. और ये 12 बिट वेरी करेगा जैसे सिस्टम डिजाइन किया गया. So you will see, just see the 2 instructions. Here you will see all the instructions start with ये register reference है, 7800, 7400, 7200 and so on, 7001. All the IO instructions start with F, F800, F400, F200. So this is a only just try to understand how the instructions have been designed. This is a hex code, short acronym for this hex code, and this is the meaning: clear AC, clear E, complement AC, like that. So we have designed an instruction which is having the hex code like this: 7800, 00. You will see how we can write the code of memory reference instruction. Now, memory reference instruction having a code from, you will see it will start from 0, 0, 0 to 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0 up to last में 1, 1 and 0. And they are preceded with 0, 0, 0 and so on 0. 1, 0, 1, 0 and 1, 1 and 0. So you'll see, so this is 0. तो अब आउटपुट क्या मेमोरी रेफरेंस का 000, 001, 010 अप टू 110 एक स्टेट ये है, और 000, 010, 010 and so on 110 तक. Now I, the value of I can be 0, the value of I can be 1. I means what? Direct indirect bit. They can be direct addressing, I value 0 हो जाएगा. There can be indirect addressing. Indirect addressing का मतलब क्या है? If you remove the addressing code, addressing mode, तो कई बार था ना डायरेक्ट एड्रेसिंग में क्या था कि हमने एड्रेस पास किया 400 एड्रेस पास किया तो एड्रेस में गया ये ऑपरेंड बन गया. इनडायरेक्ट में क्या होगा, हमने एड्रेस पास किया 400 और फोन पे लिखा हुआ है 500. नाउ वी अगेन गो टू 500, दिस इज अगेन 500 एंड दिस विल बी द ऑपरेंड. तो अगर यहाँ पर एड्रेस रीड हो गया ये डायरेक्ट एड्रेसिंग हो गया, और यहाँ से यहाँ पर आ गया तो ये हो गया इनडायरेक्ट एड्रेसिंग. So when the value of I is 0, it refers direct addressing, and when the value of I is 1, it refers indirect addressing. So opcode will have range from 000, 001 to 110. Okay. So I 0 and I 1. You will see again we got a 4-bit of code. अब हमेशा इसके लिए भी हम कोड लिख सकते हैं एक्सपोर्ट. स्टार्टिंग कोड क्या होगा देखिए, इसके लिए all 0 it will be 0, 0001 it will be 1, it will be 2 up to 6. So direct addressing memory reference instructions start with 0126, 012346. For the case of indirect addressing, it will start with 8. This will be 9. This will be 10. Up to it will go up to 14. See here, direct addressing 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. And for indirect addressing, when the value of I is 1, I 0 था direct हो गया, I 1 indirect हो गया, 8, 9, 10 की जगह A, B, C, D and E. This only shows the various instruction and how we get a hex code for these instructions. That is the only point you need to understand, and this slide is important because this gives a basis for that. So you need not to remember the instructions, उसको याद करने की कोई जरूरत नहीं, but you should remember this part. What we mean by instruction, what are the basic part of instruction, and how the what are the different types of instruction that we are having. Okay, so just this slide was added to show a resemblance how we are getting different kind of instructions, how it look like. Okay, so let me know this is clear to all of you. Hi all. So this was the point that different kind of instructions and different way of representing the instruction. Now, next we'll see, this is a good topic that we are having in continuation with this slide, that is a instruction cycle. So we discuss what is an instruction, and next you have to study how the instruction can be executed. So we are having three or four steps we are having, we can say, that is how the instruction can be executed. So a program is executed in the computer by going through a cycle for each instruction. Each instruction cycle consists of the following phases. So these are the four steps that we are having that will be required to move to execute the instruction. First says what? Fetch an instruction from the memory. It means read an instruction from the memory. Then decode the instruction. उसकी meaning clear करना, क्या instruction में perform क्या करना है. Third, read the effective address from the memory. This will apply in the case of I, that is an indirect addressing. अगर direct addressing होगा, so we can say our work will be completed in 3 steps. Step 1, that is step 2, and step 4. If there is a direct addressing. In the case of indirect addressing, we can have 4 steps. Step 1, 2, 3, and 4. Because step number 3 says read the effective address from the memory. So what does it mean? So if we are having any instruction, so if say we write add R1, for example, so it means what the instruction says we have to add the value of R1 to the accumulator, for example. So this instruction will be stored somewhere. Say this is a memory. Say for example, this is a memory stack. This is a memory stack. Odd many instructions are stored. So from memory it will come out. So this will be taken as a fetching instruction. After taking the instruction from the memory, we have to interpret it because we don't know it will have certain binary bits. We have to interpret its value. So it means ultimately we have to decode the instruction. We have to decode the instruction. So decode the instruction means what the instruction says. We have to add, we have to multiply, we have to XOR. So interpret the instruction. First of all, read the instruction, that is fetch. Decode the instruction to define its meaning. Read the effective address if there is any memory addressing of indirect level. And finally, we have to execute the instruction. तो add R1 मेमोरी से आउट करना, फैचिंग हो गया, इसको इंटरप्रेट करना है कि परफॉर्म क्या करना है, ऐड करना है कि वो आपका डिकोडिंग हो गया, इफेक्टिव एड्रेस यानी कि फाइनल एड्रेस निकालना जहाँ से ऑपरेंड को रीड करना है, तो स्टेप नंबर 3 हो गया. अच्छा, सब कुछ क्लियर हो गया तो हमें फाइनली से एग्जीक्यूट करना है. तो these 4 step, 3 step or 4 step, because 3 I'm saying in case of direct we say it is a 3 step, or in case of indirect we say it is a 4 step. These 3 or 4 steps we refer it as a instruction cycle, and this will apply to every instruction. So in the previous two or three slides we discussed, this is the basic computer instruction, 16-bit. These are the various categories of instruction, that IO instruction or register instruction or the memory reference instruction. Now the instruction cycle will be applied to every instruction, whether it is register reference, IO reference or memory reference. Like we have to take out the AND instruction or the CLA or the INP from the memory, give its meaning, and finally does the execution. So this is the instruction cycle. Now next we have to study this flow chart. Now flow chart only, the flow chart says what? The thing that I've told you, that the 4 step. So we have to study this flow chart that shows how this 4 step will be followed in case of these 3 kind of instruction: memory reference, register, and IO. See how it's moving. We start sequence counter, sequence will be 0. Then program counter, the value will come to AR. We know program counter stores the address of the next instruction. अगला इंस्ट्रक्शन एग्जीक्यूट होना, उसका एड्रेस PC के पास है, PC कहाँ गया? AR के पास. AR मीन्स एड्रेस रजिस्टर. नाउ द जो एड्रेस था वो मेमोरी पे पास कर दिया गया, तो M of AR एड्रेस जो इंस्ट्रक्शन रीड हो गया, ये फेचिंग स्टेप हो गया. कहीं नहीं कह सकते फेच स्टेप हमारे पास ये वाला स्टेप नंबर 1. IR के पास आ गया. AR means address register. IR means the instruction register. I means instruction. So instruction register और प्रोग्राम काउंटर की वैल्यू को इंक्रीमेंट कर दिया. नेक्स्ट, आप चूंकि हमारा 16 बिट का इंस्ट्रक्शन है तो IR में देखिए 16 बिट हो जाएंगे. 15 बिट I को रिप्रेजेंट कर रहा है, 0 to 11 एड्रेस को रिप्रेजेंट कर रहा है और 12 to 14 ऑप कोड को रिप्रेजेंट कर रहा है. सो वी हैव टू डिकोड दीस थ्री वैल्यूज. IR बिट 15 bit 0 to 11, IR bit address represent कर रहा है. So you'll see three different part we are having. तो हमने जो हमारा I bit था ना, इंस्ट्रक्शन में 3 पार्ट थे, I और डायरेक्ट और इनडायरेक्ट. दूसरा क्या था, ऑप कोड, और लास्ट क्या था, एड्रेस. एड्रेस कितने बिट का था, 12 बिट का एड्रेस, 3 बिट का ऑप कोड और 1 बिट का I bit. तो 16 बिट का इंस्ट्रक्शन निकल के आया IR में, उसको 3 हिस्से में डिवाइड कर दिया. दैट इज व्हाट द डिकोड. सो दिस इज व्हाट द डिकोड. सो स्टेप नंबर 2 हमारे इंस्ट्रक्शन साइकिल का हो गया. आगे अब वी हैव टू सी D7. D7 का मतलब क्या है, व्हाट इज द मीनिंग ऑफ D7? जस्ट D7 मींस व्हाट? नाउ दिस इज द वैल्यू वी आर हैविंग. ऑप कोड की वैल्यू, अब चूंकि 3 बिट का ऑप कोड है, 8 कॉम्बिनेशंस होंगे. कहां से कहां तक, D0 से लेके D7 तक. D0 से D6 से ऑप कोड की वैल्यू, तो ये कहीं ना कहीं कौन सा है, मेमोरी रेफरेंस है. और D7 है तो इट कैन बी ए रजिस्टर और इट कैन बी ए IO. तो हमने D7 को चेक किया, D7 सेट है कि नहीं. अगर D7 सेट नहीं है तो मेमोरी रेफरेंस हो गया, और D7 अगर सेट है तो इट कैन बी दिस वन और दिस वन. दैट इज व्हाट द मीनिंग of D7. Just see over here. So we check D7. If D7 is 0, it is referred as memory reference. And then we check again D7 I bit 0 or 1. 0 I bit तो डायरेक्ट एड्रेसिंग हो गया, 1 है तो इनडायरेक्ट हो गया. इनडायरेक्ट देखिए एक बार और रीड करेंगे तो M of AR goes to AR again. That is 2 level of address. और डायरेक्ट है तो कुछ नहीं करना, नथिंग. एक बार साइलेंट बैठ रहा है. And finally, execution will be. Next case, D7 is 1, so it can be either register or IO reference instruction. I value check करेंगे. I अगर 0 है तो register reference, I 1 है तो IO reference. ठीक है. And finally we execute register reference instruction, या यहाँ पर execute input output instruction. और finally यहाँ पर execute memory reference instruction. And we again go back to over here. सीक्वेंस काउंटर देखिए यहाँ पर 0. So you will see, अगर हम अपने इंस्ट्रक्शन साइकिल को डिफाइन करें, so here this is fetch phase number 1, here it is decode phase number 2, and here this is step number 4 in case of IO instruction, step number 4 in case of register reference instruction, step number 4 in case of memory reference instruction, and this is step number 3 in case of indirect addressing. So this is a step I have shown you. If we match with the instruction cycle, so we can match up in the flowchart in this particular way. So this is a flowchart that shows the execution of the instruction cycle. Okay, with this we complete this part of instruction cycle. Any point of clarification? Let me know. Okay, with this we end up this lecture. In the next we will start the CPU design. We discuss the CPU design and then we'll see how the instruction will be executed internally. अभी हमने instruction की बात किया है और उसके bits देख लिया, instruction cycle की बात कर लिया. अगले में हम देखेंगे CPU design internally, the design we are using, and then we'll see how in different steps the instruction will be executed. I can say one more level of bifurcation that we have. ठीक है? चलिए, with this we end up. Any point of clarification? You can just send a message to me for any query. Okay. Okay, with this we end up our lecture. Okay.